What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Talktagon here on bodyslam.net. We are back with episode 13, and this weekend we are reviewing UFC Fight Night, Kansas City. Obviously, there was nothing last week. Instead, we had WrestleMania, but the week before we had UFC, but Max wasn't here, but he is
Yeah,
now. So he's back.
I'm back.
We're
No
back.
longer ducking the smoke. Even though we tied when apparently I was ducking, so I'm not sure. A lot of talk for people who had a tie in terms of our predictions, but I'm excited for to break down our predictions this week. You guys will see if we tied again, or if Brady beat me this time, or if I beat Brady. So it was a good card, honestly. It started out really good. There was a
Yeah.
freaking 4 finishes straight to start out the card, but we'll get more into that later.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was honestly solid card. Kind of slowed down a little bit in the middle, but honestly, I was pretty happy all around. It was honestly a really long card. There's so many fights, but I'm happy.
Yeah, and just a quick overview since you were not here last time. What did you think of the pay-per-view?
I mean, pretty solid, pretty solid. I mean, as long as neither Volk or Lopez got slept, I was pretty happy because I like both those guys. But I was kind of worried Volk might get slept again. But like what happened with Ilya and Islam, but thankfully that didn't happen. And it honestly was a pretty good fight. It started out a little bit scary where Volk was styling on him early until like the end of the second round, I think, where he got dropped. And then it was kind of became more of a competitive fight. But yeah, man, Volk is back, dude. He showed that maybe it wasn't a good idea to do the short notice fights with Islam and Tapoya. I'm like, bro, he looks so much more shredded and just like in shape. Obviously, he's gonna look less shredded up at 155, but at featherweight, he was not even looking like the normal Volk when he fought Ilya. So I think that this is not the best Volk we've ever seen, but definitely back to being the best in the division until proven otherwise. Now that Ilya's gone. So yeah, shout out to Volk and shout out to Diego, dude. Diego, beast, dude. I was a little I was optimistic for Diego coming in. I freaking picked him, but Volk showed that he's still levels above. If as long as he has time to prepare and has a full camp, because he was looking good. I think that timed off served him well.
Yeah, I agree. Solid stuff, but now I guess Ilya's possibly fighting Islam. They haven't fully, announced
They
it, but
better.
I think that's probably the International Fight Week fight. They have not announced a main event for that, and it's next month away. So
I know they just need to announce it. It's like, come on,
it's coming.
That's the only fight to make, dude. I'm like, come on.
But
we really want to see Arman hurt his back again right before. I'm like, come on.
No. But we do have a pretty solid fight night. I saw a lot of people going into this one where, hey, we say this every time, and this is usually the norm. Going into these fight nights, the online crowd is always hating. This is a weak card. This is shit. But it turned out pretty well. I will say this. In my opinion, there was two fights that I was looking forward to the most, or I shouldn't say the most, but two fights that I thought guaranteed excitement, and those two fights were actually the worst. So interesting, and we'll get into that. But we do kick off with the prelims, and here we go. Boom! We have Chelsea Chandler versus Jocelyn Edwards kicks us off. We both picked Edwards, and she got the win. Jocelyn Edwards defeats Chelsea Chandler via TKO punch round one. Easy fight for Edwards, it seemed. She landed some nice leg kicks early, realized Chelsea just, couldn't hurt her, had nothing for her, put her against the cage, finished her in about 2 minutes. So easy win for Jocelyn Edwards. She's on a little bit of a streak now, so good for her.
Yeah, seriously, dude. I think that she's honestly one of the better unranked fighters in that division. So I think she'll probably be ranked pretty soon after that. I mean, it's not really that impressive of a win. I mean, Chandler, not exactly the best the women's divisions have to offer. I think she's now 6-4 overall as a fighter, so definitely not the best record, but impressive performance nonetheless for Edwards, dude. She looked good on the stand-up, and once she saw that finish, it was over. So shout out to Edwards, dude. Started us off well, and we both picked her, so hey, we're looking good to start off.
Yeah, not bad at all. I'm assuming, if not ranked, Tuesday, ranked opponent will be next. So
yeah, gotta be.
See. So yeah, solid fight. Not much. I mean, like I said, 2 minutes.
Yeah, dominant. Not much to talk
about.
Job. Dominant.
So we move on to Timothy Cuamba versus Roberto Ramiro. We both picked Ramiro, and we were both wrong. So Timothy Cuamba defeated Roberto Ramiro via technical knockout. Basically knee KO.
Yeah.
Round 2, close round in the first round. There was a nut shot early to Ramiro, and some great leg kicks. Cuamba's hands looked good. Early round 2, Ramiro was taken down, but popped right back up. He started to control the grappling from there a little bit. And then Cuamba just landed a really nice elbow that cut Ramiro, followed it up with a head kick, and then followed it up with another elbow, and then a knee, and then the rest stepped in. Like, it was just like out of nowhere. Out of nowhere, it was just like elbow, head kick, elbow, knee. I was like, holy shit, what's going on? He just turned it on and finished him. So, hey, good job there.
Dude.
Looked really good.
Insane, bro. Yeah, like you said, it was kind of going Romero's way somewhat until that point, and then once that elbow landed and that head kick, I'm like, oh my gosh, right back to back, and then the flying knee, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like, he wasn't really out. I was like, I feel like the ref could have let it go for like half a second longer, but I'm like, I'm always more happy with the early stoppage than the late stoppage because I'm like, he was probably on his way out no matter what. I mean, that was a lot of concussive blows back to back to back.
Like, he ate that head kick.
Yeah, and then, I know, bro. It was just insane.
Holy shit. And then that knee, you take a head kick, elbow, knee, like boom, boom, boom. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't complain about that.
I see why he stopped it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I'd always prefer early than late. I mean, I want to see these guys fight again. So
this is Cuamba's first, I believe, win in the UFC. So
yeah.
You got one? Good job.
Yeah. He started out 0-2, and now this is probably fighting for his job, honestly. He might be cut if he still was 0-3. So 100%. Huge performance. I mean, we saw Robert Romero in his last fight take Onama the distance, who we'll talk about later in this card. And he couldn't even make it the distance with Cuamba. So, hey, shout out to Cuamba. Good-ass performance, dude.
Yeah, agreed. He needed that. So good job there. That we move on to another women's fight, Jacqueline Amorim versus Poliana Viana. I went with Viana. You went with Amorim, and you were correct. Amorim defeats Viana via submission, rear naked choke round 2. Amorim takedown right away, early, had grappling position for over 4 minutes and 30 seconds in round 1. Definitely a 10-8 round. I mean, she didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Grappling transition, submission attempts, ground and pound. She dominated her. Then Viana did a decent job at staying safe, though. Survived to the next round. Round 2, immediate takedown again. Takes her back. Gets the rear naked choke with the quickness. Finishes her off. Over.
Yeah.
I mean,
over.
Dominant from
Amorim. Yeah, dude. She looked amazing.
I don't know what I was thinking.
Hey. Viana, I mean, hey, she's definitely not like the worst fighter. I know she's on a rough streak right now, but I mean, we've seen her have some good fights and some good performances. So yeah, I think it more speaks to how just good and dominant that Amorim was, because she's now won 4 in a row, all by finish, and that's not exactly the most common thing for any division. So shout out to her. I mean, she's now 4-1 in the UFC. Started out 0-1, but since then, it's been finishing everyone. So I think that she's shooting her way up quickly to the top of the rankings very, very quick, because she's not really being challenged much lately. So I want to see her up against one of the best already, dude. I'm like, send her up. Screw it.
Yeah, she made a statement earlier in the fight week that she wanted to get a submission and show that she's the best grappler in the division. Well, she did that.
Yeah,
so
for real.
Good job.
Made it look pretty easy too. I mean, sheesh.
And then another finish. That's 3 in a row here. looking good, and we get another one up next. I was very excited for this fight.
Yes, dude.
Malcolm Wellmaker versus Cameron Simon. Cameron Simon coming off of a loss to Peyton Talbot over a year ago, making his return against another prospect who's making his debut, undefeated Malcolm Wellmaker, and he stays undefeated as he defeats Cameron Simon via knockout in round 1. Man, I wrote down in my notes, Wellmaker just looked patient. He was very patient in the early going, just, trying to feel his way out, get his distance, wait for the shot. Simon moved in. Simon had some decent head movement in the early going. He made Wellmaker miss a few times. But when he stepped in, Wellmaker just blasted him with an absolute sniper of a right hand. And down goes Simon for the knockout. Wellmaker gets a first-round KO. Just Simon's body, like, he didn't flip, but it was like, whoa. It was pretty funny.
It was insane.
But yeah, Wellmaker, what is he now? 9-0, 8-0, look good. And he did get the performance bonus for this. And he said on the press conference after the fight that if he got the performance bonus, he would quit his day job. Well, he got it, so it looks like he's quit his day job and becoming a full-time fighter. So good on him.
Let's go. Shout out to
the
UFC.
Hell of a win there. Yeah. But yeah, I was looking forward to this fight because I liked Wellmaker on Contender Series, and looking forward to see what he did.
Knockout.
And he did it again. So there we
go. Right hook in the Contender Series. Right hook again. I'm like, oh my gosh, dude. This dude is some insane power, bro. So, I mean, I'm kind of worried about Simon in terms of his durability at this point. But I'm also like, hey, dude, I feel like Wellmaker could knock anyone out with how he looked in there. So he looked amazing. Like you said, he looked patient, but it was like he knew that the knockout was coming. He's like, I have the sort of power where I just need to land one good shot. This guy's out of here. So I think that's a lot of maturity for a fighter who's only had – that was his 9th pro fight. So that's a lot of maturity, being able to be patient. When you have that sort of power, man, it's like, wow, once you land one time, it could be over for. I mean, dude, like you said, Simon literally like flew across the octagon after, dude. I'm like, oh my God. So we're going to have to look out for this guy big time because he's going to be a fan favorite if he keeps knocking out dudes like that for real.
Yeah, he looked good. And then after, he said he would like to be on the Atlanta card in June, which is where he's not from Atlanta, but he's from Georgia, so he wants to be on there. Dana White said after on the post-fight press conference that if he really wants to, then sure. So
for real, dude. I mean,
we might see him soon.
We have a potential star in the making if he keeps doing that, bro. I mean, that was one of the best knockouts of the year for sure.
Yeah, pretty solid. That's why he did get a performance bonus, so good for him. And then we move on to where we start to go down a little rabbit hole of decisions here.
Slow down a little bit.
This was Damon Blackshear has defeated Alatang Haley. I think I said that correctly. Alatang Haley. Back and forth strike battle in the first, but Damon started putting together more combinations where Alatang Haley was more of just one at a time. Just one at a time. He'd throw a jab. He'd, throw a little hook in there, but he'd back up. He kept backing up. And Damon was, just throwing more combination fight or strikes. This was really the story of the fight for every round. Damon was just like ahead every time. I'm gonna struggle with this. Alatang Haley.
Let's go. That was perfect.
He would have a good last 15 seconds to each round, but then that's it. He wouldn't have exactly. The rest of the round would be bad, and that was literally every single round. So he just didn't do enough, and Damon pulled out the decision 29-28, 30-27, and 30-27. So it was like, I don't know what it was, but the last 15 seconds, he was great. And then the rest of the 4 minutes, 45 seconds, nothing. It was weird.
It was. But I do think it was a good performance for Blackshear overall. I mean, Well, I think of this guy as one of the best grapplers in the division, but there was pretty much no grappling the whole fight in terms of on the ground. I'm like, it was pretty much mostly stand up, and he actually dominated. So I'm like, okay. I'm like, Blackshear, dude, really well rounding his game out now. So I'm really interested to see how he keeps going. I mean, this is now 3 wins in a row after he had that 2-fight skid. He's now beat Cody Stamen, Cody Gibson, and Alateng Heli now. So, I mean, 3 fights in a
Let him
row,
fight
looking
another
better.
Cody.
I know, for real, bro. Keep the Codys far away from him, for real, bro. So, I think Cody Garbrandt? No, probably not a good idea. But yeah, Blackshear, dude. I mean, I was impressed, dude. His striking, I've always thought of him more as a grappler, but didn't use it whatsoever in this fight and was still able to get the easy win. So, shout out to him, dude.
Yeah, he looked good. Again, dominant. So didn't get a finish, but hey, looked dominant. Good job there. We both went with him, so there we go. I like to see that.
Yeah, not the most entertaining performance, but definitely got it done.
No, some of these fights, that we start to get into a little
bit of a snooze fest.
Little sleeper, but we move on to Chris Gutierrez versus John Castaneda. This was a split decision where first impression I wrote down, we talked about it during the fight. Chris looked huge. He looked big.
Yeah.
He looked massive for this division.
Because he was at 135 before moving up. I'm thinking that this dude's going to be, a little small for moving up in weight, but I think he'd be missing weight. I can't remember. But yeah.
Definitely put on some muscle.
Yeah, he looks way bigger. I remember him being pretty small, even at 135. So I'm like, 145. I'm like, okay, but he looks big, bro. I'm like, okay.
But yeah, Castaneda, he did solid early. He was controlling the grappling a little bit, but then got dropped with a straight at the end of the first round. Chris dropped him again with some leg kicks early in the second. Had some nice strikes up top. Castaneda was landing some solid shots as well, but it just wasn't really landing with a huge reaction as to where Chris Gutierrez's were. Castaneda had a nice slam in round 3, but tried for a submission, couldn't get it. We went to the decision, and it was a split decision, 29-28 across the board, with Chris getting the win. I picked Castaneda, but I thought Gutierrez won the fight. I did not really see a split, but whatever. At least Chris won. So he got the win. He deserved the win.
Yeah, it was one of those fights where not a lot happened, so it's like I could kind of see why the judges kind of had a hard time scoring it. But yeah, I do think Gutierrez did enough to win. But yeah, definitely not an amazing performance by any means. Kind of a snooze fest, like you said. There was less than 100 significant strikes landed, so definitely not the most barn-burning action. So I think that, Gutierrez is one of those fighters who's kind of just a bit of a decision merchant. It is what it is, but yeah, at least he was able to get the win. He's still a very skilled fighter, that's for sure.
Yeah, so not much there, but you got it right. I got it wrong here. And then we moved on to another one where this is an interesting one because I'm going to have to let you talk about it, because Evan Elder defeated Gage Young via unanimous decision, 30-27 across the board. I was actually eating during this fight. I made dinner and was eating, and I was like half paying attention, half looking up, and the crowd was making no noise. So
yeah,
we weren't really into it. I watched I was fully locked into like the last round, and they just didn't do much. And then like the last few seconds, they started going at it, but it wasn't anything crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it was a solid fight. Apparently, they were former teammates or gym mates, I should say. But yeah, I mean, Elder just kind of was a little bit step ahead of him the whole time, landing with a little bit more power. Young was kind of just a step behind the whole time, honestly. There wasn't any that much craziness going on, but it was mostly stand up. But yeah, I think Young did okay for his first ever UFC fight, but I mean, definitely, it was 30-27, so I do think it was solid scorecards because, I think Elder was just able to do a little bit more in every round. Young kind of rallied in the last round, but it still was a little too late. But yeah, Elder, now won 3 in a row too, dude. So these fighters bouncing back after these 2-fight losing streaks, Elder came in here 0-2 in the start of his UFC career, bouncing back nicely. I mean, Gage Young, obviously not the best fighter in terms of record and like UFC experience. He's 0-1 in the Contender Series, 0-1 in the UFC now. So, I mean, it's not the most high tier win, but at least Elder was able to get in the win column. So, yeah, I mean, definitely not the most high level in terms of I think that these guys could be potential champions. But, I mean, hey, Elder did what he needed to do. But, yeah, nothing too crazy.
Yeah. We both picked them, so we got that one. We'll take it.
Let's go. Yes, sir.
And then we move on to our prelim headliner, Matt Schnell versus Jimmy Flick. I went Schnell, you went Flick, and Matt
The
Schnell
battle
gets
of the old motherfuckers, for real.
Schnell gets the win via unanimous decision, 29-28 across the board. First round, Flick was taking Schnell down, but Matt continued to just like do submissions and try shit off of his back, and it really made it hard for Flick to do anything.
Yeah.
Second round started similar, but both men were going just crazy in the grappling.
Yeah.
There's multiple submissions locked in from each side. Snell landed some great ground and pound, cut Flick open bad with elbow. Matt locked in a guillotine. And then this is the second time this happened tonight. I didn't mention it earlier. Matt Schnell locked in a guillotine, and then Dan Murgliata, the referee, steps in on the clapper.
I know.
Not the bell, the clapper, and like try to stop it. And they were just like looking at him.
Yeah.
And then he's looking over, and then it happened in the Diana and Amarim fight. The same shit. I don't know what was going on with him. 2 times tonight, the clapper, because there's like if you don't know, there's like a ding, ding, ding.
10 seconds
that's
before?
like the warning for 10 seconds, yeah. And then the for time. So completely 2 different sounds.
Yeah.
And every time the clapper went off, he fucking tried to stop it. Well, what are you doing?
Yeah, for real, dude. I'm
Clearly,
like,
he should know there should
Big
be a
Dan
noise.
getting old.
There should be a noise before, the bell. So even if he thought that was a bell, there was no noise before. So that I would assume that's the clapper. I don't know. It was fucking weird.
Big Dan, bro, getting old, bro. Sad to see.
I don't know what's going on.
Bro, stepping in for no reason, for real. Bro's hearing ghosts, for real, bro. Randomly stepping in. I'm like, what is going on?
Luckily for both times, it wasn't anything like crazy. It wasn't like they almost had it finished. So thank God for that. But yeah, guillotine, ref steps in round 2. Then we go to the third round, just more of a ground battle, but it was entertaining. I mean, they were transitions back and forth. Schnell was landing some ground and pound, and I believe that's what made the difference here. So Schnell picked up the win. Solid grappling, like I said. 2 great grapplers, just back and forth on the ground. Submission attempts, back up, back down, back up, back down. But yeah, just like constant movement, and Schnell throwing in some ground and pound sealed the deal here and actually made it, entertaining, because a lot of people, I enjoy it, but a lot of people do not like the wrestling and stuff. But when they're constantly moving and trying for submissions and trying to get it done, more entertaining for the live crowd.
Exactly. That's the type of wrestling we like, where they're actually going for a finish. Even though they may not get it done, at least they're actually trying for it. Opposed to just laying on top, just position over submission, just sitting there, dude. I'm like, come on, guys. If you're able to be that dominant, at least go for something. But yeah, this is definitely one of the more entertaining, I think, grappling heavy fights I've seen in a while. I mean, it was almost all grappling. I mean, not much actual stand-up whatsoever. I mean, maybe a minute total. I mean, it was pretty much all grappling, and it was actually pretty much entertaining the whole time. This is, even though it was a decision, it was probably the most entertaining, or maybe not the most entertaining, but one of the most entertaining on the card in terms of the decisions. So shout out to Flick and Schnell, both of them pretty up there in age, but showing that they can still fight and put on a good show for the fans, dude. I mean, Flick looks like he's ancient, even though he's technically younger. But Matt Schnell, dude, I think both these guys have contemplated retiring, so this is kind of a tough pick for me. I'm like, both these guys are a little bit past their prime, but Schnell was able to get it done. I mean, they matched him up well. This is a tough pick for me because Schnell, a bit infamous for being knocked out many times, but Flick has never gotten a TKO KO ever in his entire career. So I thought that was a good matchup for them, but I thought Flick was going to be able to get it done. Crafty on the ground, but nah, Schnell was just a little bit step ahead and was able to do more damage for sure. And I think that ultimately won him the fight, and Flick was kind of gassed out and beaten up at the end.
Yep, fully agree.
For real, dude.
Good job.
Crazy, bro. It's like Schnell. I was worried he would never be back. I'm like, imagine if Flick knocks him out, bro. I'm like, that was low-key what I was envisioning. But I think that was a little bit.
He'd retire.
For real. If Jimmy Flick knocked you out, I'm like, oh, bro, you might be done. But hey, shout out to Schnell, dude. He gave me an L on this one. So you got me on that one. I picked Flick. I was a big fan. I was a little overly optimistic for my boy Flick. But hey, at least he put on a good show. That's all that matters.
And I needed you to get that loss. 5-3, and you're 6-2 heading into the main card. I needed that.
For real, bro. I started out hot in the prelims. I'm the prelim warrior, bro. I'm always doing good on the prelims, bro.
Hey, and it goes downhill. But
real, bro. Freaking can't remember who it was, but Brady got me.
yeah. Hey, it's okay because we ended up, as you can see here, we tied
again.
Yay. But we do move on to the main card, and we kick things off with Ikram Aliskerov versus Andre Muniz. Hey, shout out Aliskerov. He's coming over. How do I put this? People really highly touted this guy, put him in a spotlight. He got a main event fight, Robert Whittaker, big, huge fight, and he crumbled. He got knocked out. He failed. Didn't look too good. But he gets another shot and comes back, maybe a little lower on the card, but that's okay.
Yeah.
To get his mojo back. And he did it, though. He passed flying colors. He comes out, just gets the TKO win, round 1. But it was a little bit of a weird finish. So it was pretty early. He knocked him out pretty quick, but Ikram, just a straight to the temple, I guess.
Yeah, and then his balance.
Reaction. Yeah, it was like a super delayed reaction, like at least 3 seconds where Muniz was good, and then he fell. It was weird.
Yeah, it was weird.
We've seen that before. And then Ikram finished him on the ground. So he got a quick win, but again, just a really strange finish. He hit him. We've seen it before. We've seen it a couple times where a fighter gets hit and then it's nothing, and then delayed reaction. The Hurricane Shane one is the one I always think about, where he got punched and then he was okay, and then he just started running backwards, and then he fell. It was so weird.
Yeah, Vince Barboza, for real, bro. That one was so weird.
This was not as bad as that, but he got hit and then he was like, okay, now I'm done. It was fucking strange. But hey, Ikram, good job. He got the win. He said he wants a ranked opponent next. Anyone in the top 15. He just wants to fight a bigger name. I don't blame him. After you get beat by Rob, it's you need to go prove yourself again. Rob is not an easy fight by any means. So fight someone a little lesser and then work your way back up to that. So good job.
Man. At one point, Muniz was pretty hyped up as a potential prospect. I mean, people were saying he matches up well against Adesanya back when he was a champ. They're he could submit him. But he has been on a bit of a skid ever since. I mean, he lost to Brendan Allen, Paul Craig, then he won versus Jung Young Park, and then now he's lost again. I think that, I think it goes to show that Ikram really is the real deal. I mean, only losses are to Kamzat and Robert Whittaker, Kamzat being back on the regional scene. So this dude only loses to the best of the best. So this guy's a major problem. And he's shown that he's got a little bit of striking too. I mean, he's mostly known for more of his grappling, but I mean, he's really well-rounded too. He's not the fastest guy, but he definitely has some power. So I'm interested to see what happens next. I do think he was kind of rushed in a little too early with Robert.
Yeah, definitely.
Where people were probably thinking Whittaker was more done than he really was in terms of age and where he is in his career. But Aliskerov, man, dude, absolutely dominant performance. I was a little questioning these money lines. I'm like, damn. I'm like, Muniz is like a massive underdog. I'm like, I feel like he's pretty good, but I'm like, no. Aliskerov showed that he was in a class of his own in there, dude. Freaking walked him down and finished it. I mean, wow.
Levels.
For real, though. Levels to this shit.
But yeah, good job, Ikram. There, we both picked him. So hey, starting off hot on these main card, and then we get even hotter with the next one. This is craziest finish of the night.
For real. That says a lot considering the Wellmaker one, too. I'm like, oh my.
Randy Brown defeats Nicholas via knockout round 2. This did not get a performance bonus, but it did get a fight of the night bonus.
Okay.
This was fight of the night. They both got paid for this one.
We'll take it. I'm happy about that.
Man, early left hook broke Nicholas Dalby's nose in the first round.
Bad.
And it was bad. He like twisted his nose all up. Rough. It was so broken that it didn't even bleed. That's how you know it was a clean. You broke your fucking nose.
So send it back into the middle of your face.
Yeah. Then they jabbed back and forth a little bit. It looked like Randy kind of moved it. Right.
It kind of went recentered a little bit.
Yeah, close to that. Well, in the corner to the second round, his team put a towel over it and fucking put it back in. Gross. But late in round 1, Dalby just threw out an absolute wild haymaker and dropped Randy Brown.
Crazy, bro. Dalby's tough.
He's very tough. And I was like, oh my God, this might be it. I picked Brown. No. Dalby pounced on him, tried to get him out of there. Couldn't. We go to round 2. That's when they reset his nose. Pretty nasty. Second round, they were going out a little bit, and then all of a sudden, both of them was like, fuck it, and they just started throwing just bombs back and forth. Haymaker. Randy rocked Dalby a little bit, and Dalby was like, I think he just like realized like, holy shit, I just need to swing and just try for anything. Finish. So he did it, but it did not work. This was reminiscent to Max Holloway versus Justin Gaethje because they were swinging, and Randy Brown put Nicholas Dalby out cold on his face, knocked him out clean right on his face.
Nasty.
If you didn't see it, but you saw the Max Holloway Justin Gaethje, it was just like that. He went right down, boom, on his face, flat. Randy Brown gets the knockout win in insane fashion. Like I said, they got fight of the night bonus. I was kind of shocked by this because I thought he would get a sole bonus, but hey, both of them get it. Dalby needs to fix his nose. Yeah, you can have it. Just crazy. And this is the first person to ever knock out Nicholas Dalby. He's never been finished by knockout before. So,
which says
Randy Brown did it.
He's fought some tough ass dude, so that says a lot.
I mean, this dude's tough. Dalby was tough as hell. Yeah, Randy knew he was tough as hell, but he put him out. Crazy.
Yeah, dude. Randy, dude, he's looking good. I mean, he had that tough decision versus Brian Battle where it could have gone his way in his last fight, so he was definitely coming in motivated in this one, ready to prove that he's still here. That was kind of just bad judging, and man, he showed that sheesh. He still got that shit, bro. I mean, Dalby, never been knocked out, never been finished. And, man, bro, face first, ass up. I'm like, oh, my God. That's just disrespectful.
It was bad.
So, man. Dude, shout out Randy Brown, bro. At the end, bro. Yeah. Man, bro. He's just on another level, bro.
The fucking cheese. Yeah. He was all over it. But, hey, Dalby was talking shit on Instagram on Randy Brown, saying he was pissed and shit like that. So Randy was mad and finished him and was like, I told you, bitch. Like, I'm not gonna play with me.
Put some fucking respect on my
That's what you get. Yeah, and Randy 100% should be ranked decently and should get a huge opponent next. I'm assuming he's gonna get a really big name next. So yeah,
he should. I mean, he's nasty. He just has such a crazy frame where he's so rangy, but still fills out pretty good and has some crazy power.
Yeah, really, really excited to see what's next for him. But you know what I'm not excited for? The next fight. Holy fuck. This fight. This was one that I was talking about in the beginning where I thought this was going to be an exciting fight because it's always exciting when you see Michelle Pineda in there. Except apparently on Saturday.
Not today.
It was not.
No idea what happened.
Man, Abus Magomedov gets the win via unanimous decision 30-27. And usually when you see a Russian on the other opposite end and you think, damn, did he just wrestle the whole time and make it boring? No. I don't know what Michel Pereira was doing, but this was fucking boring on his behalf. Magomedov landed a nice head kick early. He got a takedown. Pereira was able to get back up. But he's just like didn't do anything other than that. He had 5 significant strikes in round 1, just 5. He was just like standing there. He was like frozen, stuck. I don't know, but it was just he didn't do anything. Round 2, mostly just ducked and dodged. Much of the same. It was just like very boring. And I even wrote down this was boring. Insane to see a boring Pereira fight. Round 3, Magomedov landed a nice shot, but was just way too slow. He started getting tired. He was slowing down. And I wrote down both are very tired from doing absolutely nothing.
Exactly. That was my thing, too.
They were gassed. They were gassed in round 3. And I was like, from what? You literally didn't do anything.
For real, bro. I'm like, what?
Usually you see Pereira like gassed because he's always jumping off the cage, flipping, flying, back flipping.
Yeah.
He didn't.
Yeah.
And Abus did even less. Obviously, he was throwing more strikes, but he's not flipping and shit. I don't know why the fuck they were tired, but they were tired in round 3 for doing nothing. What the fuck was this?
Literally, bro. I'm like, I was wondering the exact same thing. I'm like, these are the most gassed fighters for having the least amount of like strikes. I'm like, bro, what is even going on? It makes me wonder.
They had a 3-round spar and got tired off of it.
Literally, bro. I'm like, it almost makes me wonder if Pereira was hurt or something. I'm like, bro, barely threw anything in the beginning. I'm like, what is going on, bro? I'm like, it was the most weird start. I'm like, he normally is like always doing some crazy shit, throwing whatever the fuck he wants. And he literally barely threw it all. I'm like, what? Is he just hoping that Magomedov gasses out? But I'm like, bro.
But he did. And then he was also, it was fucking strange. This was weird.
Horrible in terms of like actual display. I'm like, bro, both these guys are gassed out. Like, it was just terrible in terms of like, it was just slop, bro. That's the best thing I can say.
Yeah, and I would also love to, I want to point out and get your reaction to this. I don't know if you saw this, but Dana White, after the post-fight press conference, Dana White said that this fight was not bad.
I mean, it wasn't. I mean, I see what he's saying in terms of like they were definitely landing some strikes at the end, but I'm like, bro, how are they so gassed out? I'm like, it was so sloppy, bro. I'm like, yeah, they're landing because they're both like so gassed they can barely move. For real, bro. I'm like, what is even going on, dude? I'm like, I just don't understand, for real, bro. I'm like, how are they this gassed out, bro? I'm like, I knew Abus kind of had a gas tank problem, so I was like, okay, he might gas out, but I'm like, Pereira wasn't even punching. I'm like, what is going on, bro? It was just a really weird fight. I think there's maybe something more going on here. Why? I'm like, I don't even know. Maybe Pereira's just getting old or something. I'm like, he's not even that old. I'm like, I don't even know, bro. I mean,
yeah, he did do like a dance on his entrance, and I was thinking maybe he got hurt doing that. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, pulled the fucking Chris Barnett. For real. Hurts his leg jumping around. For real.
Exactly. I don't know what the fuck was going on. And I kind of thought the same thing in the main event, and I'll get to that in a little bit, but just fucking strange.
I mean, I'll give it to Magomedov for doing enough to get the win, but I'm like, that was very strange. I kind of figured that he should be able to finish Pereira when he looked that bad, but I'm like, he looked terrible, dude. I'm like, I don't even know what the fuck happened, dude.
Yeah, not good. So we both picked Pereira and we both lost that. That was rough.
Magomedov showing us that hey, the German Russian still strong, bro.
Yeah, sure.
For real, bro. The German Dagestani, for real, bro. Lethal combination.
But yeah, he gets the win. Good job, boring fight. We move on to Giga Chikadze versus David Onama, and David Onama gets the win via unanimous decision, 29-28 across the board. Both rocked each other during round 1, but Onama was actually hurt more. Instead, he got a takedown. He grabbed Giga, got a takedown, took it to the end of the round. I think in round 2, Onama realized if I can get this guy down when I'm tired and hurt, I can get this guy down when I'm not hurt. So that's what the fuck he did.
Yeah.
Onama realized Giga had no wrestling, took him down, controlled him. Round 3 started a little striking battle. Giga had some solid shots, and then Onama took him down again, kept him there for the rest of the fight, dominated him on the ground. And I will note that Giga Chikadze was the only fighter to miss weight this weekend. So
yeah,
I don't know if he was
not
having
good.
some gas tank issues or what, but David Onama, he recognized that this guy can't wrestle, so I'm just going to wrestle him. And Onama is not even really known as a wrestler, so he just did what he had to do.
That's exactly what I was saying. I'm like, damn. I'm like, Giga's wrestling is so shit, bro. I'm like, oh my god. Every time he got taken down, I'm like, well, that's the end of the round. I'm like, well, he's not getting back.
Yeah, he couldn't get up.
For real. I'm like, anytime Onama got the takedown, it was over. That round is now done. For real. I'm like, Giga, for real. I'm like, he's one of those fighters, dude. We talk about it all the time. It's like, bro, you can be as good as you are in striking, but I'm like, bro, if you can't actually keep it there, it's useless. I'm like, it was literally just over for every time he got taken down. But it was a little depressing to see in terms of entertainment value. But Onama definitely did enough to win. I mean, it 100%. Wasn't the most entertaining fight, but yeah, I mean, he definitely got those last 2 rounds for sure. I mean, I think that Giga did okay, but I mean, even on the stand-up, Onama was doing decent. So I mean, it can't be competitive on the stand-up, and also you get completely destroyed on the ground. I mean, I saw some people saying Giga should have won. I'm like, I don't really see that. I'm like,
no.
I'm like, I think you might have just bet on Giga.
Yeah. I actually saw someone say towards David Onama, you can't win a fight, just hold someone. And then I saw someone reply to that and said, you can't win a fight just being held. So I was like,
yeah, literally.
What there?
Exactly.
Like, what are you supposed to do?
And I'm like, according to the numbers, Onama had more significant strikes landed. So I'm like, can't even say that. I'm like,
every time I think of Giga, I think of that fight versus Calvin Kattar, who's just so brutal. You got
then the picture after, he's like, he's like smiling with him, and then Giga's like barely has like his like face is destroyed. I'm like, oh my god, bro. Calvin, bro, fucking shameless. He's like, let's take a pic. He's like, my handiwork, bro.
He's like,
show my
basically showing off.
Yeah, literally, bro. He's like cuts everywhere. I'm like, oh my god.
I just beat this guy's ass.
That picture is great, honestly, dude.
Bro. But Giga, yeah, this was poor Giga. I feel bad for the guy. But yeah, I went with Onama here, and you went with Giga, and this is what solidified the tie. So I knew it was going to be a tie going into this because this was the last one we picked separate. So I was like, please Onama win, and he got it. Thank God. I'm happy with that.
It was a good performance for David. I mean, it wasn't the most entertaining in terms of like striking, but I mean, good work neutralizing Giga. I mean, once he got him down, it was over for. So good work.
Yeah. Then we move on to our co-main event. So this was an interesting one because this was Anthony Smith's retirement fight, his final fight, his final walk. Yeah, he came out. And you could tell he was just like, soaking it all in, high-fiving a lot of people in the crowd. So many people.
Yeah.
He gave his hat to a kid in the crowd, which was pretty cool. They were just like, hugging and high-fiving. And he took a moment on the stairs before he got into the cage to just take it in, walked around the cage. He was really just like, this is it. And it's very good that he did that because when the fight started – he wasn't taking anything in except for strikes. Zhang Yang defeats Anthony Smith in his retirement fight via TKO in round 1. Just sad in a sense, but absolutely the way you would expect Anthony Smith to go out. Just brutal. I mean, honestly, it wasn't more that he was hurt rather than just the fucking blood. Zhang Yang cut him in the top of his head with an elbow. And because Anthony Smith is bald, like clean bald, the blood's just pouring. There's nothing to stop it. So he's just like when they try to wipe it off, the blood just immediately started flowing again. It was so bad. His whole face was just covered red. Anthony tried to grapple him because he's like, fuck it, I can't see. So he tried to grapple him. Big mistake because then Zhang just like stopped the takedown, stood over him, and just elbowed the shit out of him. I kind of thought the ground and pound was a little bit off the back of his head, but then on replay, the elbow was connecting towards the temple a little bit. I think a few of them might have hit the back of the head, but oh well, it was over. Anyways, just Anthony was just struggling to see. He poured it on with that ground and pound and got the win. So, good job, Zhang. Dominant.
For real, bro. I mean, I was happy that Anthony Smith got, like you said, soaked it all in, and then the nice little I'm glad he was still conscious for the freaking 10-minute long tribute. I'm like,
oh my god.
For real,
they didn't even give Stipe a tribute.
Yeah, I know, but I'm like, damn, I'm like, Anthony Smith. I'm like, hey, I don't have anything wrong with Anthony Smith. I think he's definitely an OG veteran of the UFC, but I'm like, damn, this is a long thing. I'm like, I mean, it's probably because he's like works for them and he's like friends with everyone. So I mean, hey, definitely a good guy. But I'm like, damn, I'm a little concerned for Anthony Smith. Let's get this guy to the hospital. I'm like, fuck, dude. I'm like, that was a lot of elbows. I'm like, he's
stitch him up.
Yeah, for real, bro.
Goddamn, bleeding everywhere.
But I'm glad he got that. I mean, the one thing I will say is like, back in my prime, that's someone I would have beat. I'm like, bro, would you really? I'm like, you're 13-12 in the UFC. I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, I mean, yeah, you look pretty good, but I'm like,
he did beat Gustafsson. I will say that.
Yeah, very true. So I'm like, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, shout out to Smith, though. I mean, he's always going to be one of the toughest fighters. I mean, a lot of people give him shit for getting finished at the end of his career, but I'm like, bro,
there's nothing he could do. Yeah,
he was old. I'm like, let's just be real. I'm like, he was a little bit, maybe should have retired back in like 2022. He was definitely overstaying
after that Glover fight, dude.
For real, bro. I'm like, oh, it was getting crazy, bro. So
yeah, and I did know that I wanted to say about Anthony Smith, man. This guy, just a really nice guy. We see him on the broadcast doing like that type of stuff now, which is cool. Just seems like a solid dude. You don't really have anything bad to say about him other than that guy after the fight who was fucking flicking off.
For real.
He did say that it was because there was a fan in the crowd who was wearing a Nebraska shirt, which is where he's from, was booing and flicking him off. So he's like, dude, what the fuck? We're supposed to be on the same team here.
Yeah,
and he started flicking him off back. But
you probably bet on him. It's my guess.
Probably. I wanted to say that I thought it was really cool how honest Anthony Smith was. I listened to his post-fight interview, like after the show. They did another interview on the post show. He was just super honest, and I kind of respected that a lot because he just said, like, yeah, I'm not the best. I know that I'm not the best, and I got beat. There was nothing to it, no excuses. He really assessed his full career, especially the later years of his career, very honestly, and I respect that because a lot of times when you see fighters, they always want to have this persona that they are the best, no matter what. You lose, it was a freak accident. I'm still the best. They retire, man, I was the best. I'm the best. And they don't really like actually assess how their career went if it wasn't the best. You know what I mean? So Smith was like, I know I'm not the best. I'm not the best in the world, but I tried. So there it is. Like I respected that because a lot of these fighters have like huge fucking egos and they're just like, I'm the best no matter what, even if they're beat. I'm the best. I don't care. I'm the best. But he was like he's not the best. And it is what it is, but he still tried. So I respected that a lot.
Definitely not an easy career path for real, bro. It's like, and I mean, for how much they get paid, I mean, it's definitely also crazy. I mean, I'm sure Anthony Smith walked away pretty good. I mean, he's got almost 60
this was
fights.
His 60th. I'm pretty sure this was his 60th.
Yeah,
that's
just
insane. That's
real,
crazy.
Bro. I'm like, having one is crazy, let alone 60. I'm like, so this dude's definitely a true warrior. I mean, people clown him a little too much. I mean, we gave him a hard time, but all out of love. I mean,
we give you a hard time, but I'll never forget when we picked against you and you fucking beat Petrino.
For real, bro.
Oh my God, dude. We were high on Petrino. Bro. He was the next guy, and then he took him out round one.
For real,
crazy.
Bro. For real, bro. So Smith, he's always going to go in there fuck you up if you're not one of the best. You know, like
Yeah.
he'll beat you if you're not an elite fighter for real, though. So he was always one of those guys where he's perfect for the UFC, where he's UFC worthy, even if he's not, championship top of the top.
Elite gatekeeper, basically.
Yeah, exactly, bro. For real, bro. So that's honestly one of the most important roles in the UFC. It's like, bro, these guys are the guys who let us know where these guys are at in terms of skill. It's like if Anthony Smith wasn't there, it'd be hard to tell, all these guys actually ready for the top.
100%.
So
and always respected Smith for he literally was champion. He could have been champion.
Yeah.
All he had to say is, "I'm done." He had to fight against John Jones. Yeah, he pulls an Aljo. We see a whole different career for this guy.
Anthony Smith's champion for Aljo.
But if you don't know, he fought John Jones. John Jones hit an illegal knee, and he was like, the ref was like, "Do you want to continue?" And he said, "Yes, I'm good." All he had to say was no, and he was new champion. But he said yes, and he ended up getting beat then after that. But all he had to say was no, and he didn't do it because he said he would not feel comfortable winning that way. Aljamain Sterling, on the other hand, did not give a shit. But he didn't feel comfortable winning that way. So respect. Because, I don't know what I would do in that situation, but I do feel like, especially a guy against John Jones, you want to fucking beat John Jones. You want to beat him to say you're the best. Because then everyone's going to be talking, oh, you took the coward way out. You got a cheap way out to win. So,
for real.
Respect.
For real, bro. But, yeah, I mean, Smith, good retirement. But, yeah, dude, Ming Yang, bro. Let's get back to Ming Yang.
Yeah, we got to talk about this guy.
This guy's a monster, for real, bro.
Good.
All
Anthony,
first
you had your
finishes
time.
in a row.
He's next.
Bro.
Dude,
like,
I know.
He's a
monster.
For real, bro. And I'm looking at this shit, bro. I'm like, God damn. I'm like, he has 25 pro fights, bro, and he's 26, bro. So I'm like, how old is this guy when he made his debut? Bro was 16 fighting a pro fight. I'm like, what the fuck?
Bro was 2 years old. He had one fight per year.
Bro. Yeah. I'm like, what the fuck? But dude, he started out rough, bro. I'm like, damn. I'm like, when I was looking at his stats, I'm like, damn. I'm like, 12-fight winning streak, but he has only 19 wins and 6 losses. I'm like, damn. He started out 3-3 as a pro, and then 7-5. So I'm like, damn, bro. I'm like, this is pretty inspirational for real. But I'm like, bro started out rough, bro. I'm like, barely was 500, and then is now on a 12-fight unbeaten, all knockout in the first round. I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, that is a crazy turnaround. I mean, I guess he probably grew into his strength. I mean, fighting at 16 as a pro is fucking crazy, bro. Dude, so, yeah, dude, Ming Yang is on my radar for real, bro. I'm like, he made that look easy. I'm like, we've seen Smith, like we said, bro. If you're not on top of it, bro, I'm like, he will beat you. But, bro, he made it look easy for real, bro. That was crazy.
This was the one note that I had for Ming Yang. He literally looked like Frankenstein. Like, he's fucking huge. His head is big as fuck. Smith was hitting him, but he was just like straight walking at him. Like, I don't give a shit. Hit me.
Elbowing, walking in. I'm like, oh, he was spamming the elbow. For real.
Dude, Smith would land a shot, and he's like, don't care, elbow. Don't give a shit.
Elbow.
I'm like, who is this fucking guy?
I'm like, this dude's a fucking menace.
And he's so huge. Like, bro, I could see this guy moving to heavyweight out of lightweight. He's fucking big.
Smith is gonna dominate that weight class too, for real, bro.
Yeah, I know. He's gonna dominate. I feel like so we saw it back in like COVID times where the heavyweights. Remember when the heavyweights were getting in and UFC didn't really have any heavyweights? So like, giving them ranked opponents right off. It was like, holy shit. We saw a lot of potential prospects.
Chris Dawkins ranked for real, bro.
Dude, yeah. And then they get beat and they fucking get out of the UFC.
Yeah, then they're gone for real, bro.
I could see UFC doing that with him in the lightweight division, just being like, fuck it, you're getting the rank
for real, bro.
Immediately. So real, I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know if I don't know if I trust it, but man, after seeing that performance, I'm like, maybe.
I know it's tough because I'm like, I don't know if that was the best Smith, because I'm like, Smith is just hard where it's like, I don't know if he's just inconsistent or he really is just like, I'm like, bro, he'll go from beating Ryan Spann and Victor Petrino to getting destroyed. I'm like, what is going on for real, bro?
Yeah.
But Smith is one of those guys, bro, where I think that if you beat him, especially with that sort of ease, I think you're definitely legit. So, I mean, I want to see what happens next.
Yeah. I think I need to see him against either another prospect, or B, like a literally number 15, like whoever is number 15.
Bro, they were saying Yeah, they were saying he should be ranked already. I'm like, I don't know, maybe ranked, but I don't know. Maybe I'm like ranked
Like
already. I'm like, I don't know.
high. He
Yeah,
needs to fight someone who's also about to be ranked because
bro, about
I need
fight
to.
Guskov, that'd be crazy, bro. The
It's
bald
hard to.
dude.
It's hard. Yeah, please. It's hard to see who. It's hard to see. As much as I praised Anthony Smith, it's hard to see where his levels are at
When
against
he's
the
about
guy
to retire too.
who's literally retiring. Yeah,
Yeah,
like
for real.
he has
1
nothing to
foot was
gain.
out the door, for real.
Yeah,
1 foot
Anthony
was for
had
sure
nothing to
out
gain.
of
He could have won
Yeah,
this, and it didn't matter.
yeah,
So he already said he felt very free to fight in there because he didn't have to worry about what was next because there wasn't a next.
yeah,
So with that mentality, he's not saying he wanted to lose, but there's always a thought of if I lose, oh well.
yeah,
And you don't want to
exactly.
fight someone with that mentality. So I want to see him fight someone who's like, I think I need to
100%.
see him fight another prospect. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
For real, bro. It's
we'll
like
see.
Smith is. It's like it's hard to see what Smith it really was. I mean, it was just last year that he got that win over Petrino, but since then he hadn't been looking good. But yeah, man, I think Zhang definitely is gonna be a problem. But yeah, definitely match him up. I don't throw him straight to the Wolves. I want to see him at least, work his way up. I mean,
Yeah, China
Anthony
might get their
Smith
first
to
light
top
heavyweight
10
champion.
is a little crazy. Yeah, for real, bro. I'm like, they the UFC wants those Chinese stars. I mean,
They
they have
100% do
Zhang
that.
now. I mean, let's add another one for real.
That's
Bro.
why I'm thinking like they might push him a little bit because they
Yeah.
actually really want those Chinese
fans
fighters.
for real, bro. I mean, it's a huge market, so freaking they really want that for real, bro. I mean, we've seen how big of a star Zhang is. I mean,
Yeah.
it's smart. So shout out to this dude, bro. I mean,
And you get a
walked
fucking okay.
easy.
Let's also note that, dude, people from China, no offense at all, they're not the biggest people. So
Yeah.
when you get a fucking giant from China,
Yeah.
dude, he's gonna be popular. They're gonna love that guy.
For
So if he
real, bro.
becomes
And he has
champion,
knockout power for real.
yeah, if he becomes champion, he's gonna be a star. So
For
we'll
real,
see.
bro. This dude, he's definitely on my radar in terms of contenders for future years, for real.
And
he's only 26 too, bro. It's crazy.
He got the performance bonus. So shout out to him for that.
For real, bro. He's gonna be around for a while.
So the bonuses were Wellmaker, Min Yang, and then fight of the night was Randy Brown and Nicholas Dalby. Those were the
we'll take it. For real, I don't think anyone got skimped really. I mean,
no, I wasn't mad at that at all. I thought maybe they would give Randy Brown just one by
extra
himself
one,
and then
a
different.
bonus.
I honestly, what I was thinking was Brown would get a performance, and then this fight will get the fight of the night bonus just to give Smith $50K on his way out.
For real, that'd be hilarious.
For
real, bro. The sympathy for real, bro. But I feel like Smith. I mean, if you have 60 pro fights, please tell me you have some money in the bank, bro. I mean,
yeah, he's good.
Real,
he said like I watched the little promo video before the fight that they do, and he said that he literally said a lot of these fighters are stupid. He said they get the win money and they blow it, and you never know. Maybe you go on 3-fight losing streak, and next thing you know, you're out of the UFC. So he said that he did save a lot of money.
Yeah,
so that's good that he did that. Yeah. And like I said, he has a desk job. So at the
exactly,
UFC,
dude. That's what he's smart for real. I'm like, it's good to have a career lined up after fighting. I mean, and he's been lining this up for a while. I mean, he's been at the desk for years at this point. So he's experienced, ready to go right into it for real. But I mean, he can already start that right away. I mean, maybe rest up a little bit, party a little bit, like he said. But then, shit, dude, enjoy your new career from here for real, bro.
Yeah, and I would like to note that we did get a new guy on the broadcast team last night.
Oh, yeah.
He was doing the fight previews and shit. Steven Wonderboy Thompson is now on the desk.
I love it.
So shout out to Wonderboy.
What's not to
setting himself up. Setting himself up for the future. There you go.
Exactly, for real, bro. I mean, he has the perfect face for it, bro. He looks like a freaking Ken doll, for real, bro, from like the 1980s, for real, bro. Like, he's so funny, bro. I love him, bro. He's so funny.
He's great. He's great. So shout out to Steven, shout out to Smith, Zhang, all good. Solid stuff there in the co-main. But the main event, we move on to the main event, the last fight of the night.
Crazy.
I'll go through round by round before I say the result, but you can already see it there. Man, this was the fight with the Michelle Pereira one that I thought was pretty disappointing until towards the end. I will say
yeah, right, dude. This is such a weird one.
The first round was so slow. I felt like each guy was just getting their reads, and they were just not doing anything really, just like jabbing, which boring as fuck. But also understand like these two are really, really good at striking. Especially if you're Carlos and you know that Ian is a great striker and great movement, you're like a little weary. And if you're Ian, you know, dude, this guy's left hits like a fucking truck, so I got to be weary of that. So they're kind of just both like, you know, feeling each other out. Carlos did slip at the end of round one, though, like literally just tripped and fell. It was kind of weird. And then Ian jumped on him and hit him with like 2 good shots and kind of gave him a little mouse under his eye. So Ian took round 1 just based off damage. I gave him that. Round 2, Ian started landing a little more, and I wrote down that Carlos just seemed way too calm, and that's how I felt for most of this fight. I don't know what it was. His takedown defense in the early going was very good, perfect actually for a little while, but just waiting. I don't know what he was doing. Round 3. Ian did a good job at mixing up the strikes and ended up getting a takedown. First man in takedown, Carlos Prates. So he got that now on his record. He did it twice actually that round, so 2 times. And then Prates again just didn't do much. We're in round 3 now, heading into round 4. And Prates 100% lost this fight unless he got a finish. And I don't know what was going on. And I even posted that it felt like he just froze under the pressure. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know. Big main event, maybe, and he was just like nervous. I have no idea. Or maybe it was just Ian Gary's, movement. And I'll get into that in a little bit. But round 4, much of the same, but Prates finally started to do something. Towards the end, he did cut Ian Gary's cheek and gave him a little cut on the it was like under the eye and then in his nose. So his nose was bleeding as well. And then around 5, Carlos finally actually turned it on. He had Ian hurt. Ian was also just tired too because he was like basically controlling the whole fight. So he was tired. He hit him with the solid shots. Ian like tried to run away and get a takedown, but Carlos stopped it. And this is where I started freaking the fuck out. This is what pissed me off. It was very entertaining, but it pissed me off because Carlos reversed the takedown, took his back, landed some ground and pound shots, had him like falling against the cage. This was the time. If there was any time for Carlos Prates was to win, this was it. He had him dead to rights. It was over.
Had him crawling for his life, literally on all fours. Bro.
All he had to do was keep on punching. All he had to do was keep punching, and instead, he fucking grapples him. Yeah, bro, what are you doing?
And then he lets him up at the end, though. I'm like, what are you doing?
Let him up. I stood up on my feet with like a minute left, and I was screaming at the TV, Prates, strike. I was yelling at him, strike, because he wasn't, dude. The guy, okay, to put this, how do I put this? Visualize that you knock someone down and then they like kind of fall into a ball against the cage. And then you see the guys like just strike. And then the ref steps in. He had him in that position, but didn't strike. Like, he just didn't. I don't know what he was doing. And then he like rolled onto his back and then was like trying to roll around him. I was like, fuck the grappling, bro.
Yeah, I'm like, fucking punch him.
And he didn't.
He lets him up. Then he lets him up. I'm like, okay, nice. Okay, he's gonna empty the tank. He lets him up, doesn't throw another punch the entire. I'm like, why did you let him
strike once?
Yeah, I'm like, what the fuck, bro? He lets him up just to walk around for the last 10 seconds. I'm like, what the fuck, dude?
Absolutely abysmal from Carlos Prates. Just terrible. I like Carlos Prates. I picked Carlos Prates. I had faith in Carlos Prates. But what the fuck was he doing?
For real, bro. He must have just been gassed, bro. I'm like, that's the only explanation.
Either that or his fight IQ was just terrible.
For real, bro. I'm like, what are you doing? Honestly, I think he should have gone to like the ground and pound earlier, bro. I'm like, I feel like those takedowns from Gary were getting pretty weak, and he was able
Dude,
to pretty much reverse them. I'm like, bro, get on top and start landing on him. I'm like, he's clearly not that good at the grappling, bro. I'm like, he would like try like a million takedowns and barely make any, and when he would, it'd be like for 1 second. I'm like, bro, I feel like you're stronger than him, bro. For real, bro. Prates, but yeah, Gary looked really good for like the first 3.5 rounds, but then he gassed out from all his style is so in and out. It was amazing for the first few where he'd like jump in, get a crazy ass combo, get out, but it'd be so tired on his energy levels by the end, bro. He was barely able to fucking stand, bro. I'm like, holy shit, bro. When he had him literally crawling on all fours, looking like he was like crawling back to his wifey, like, get me the fuck out of here for real, bro. And
100%.
then he doesn't get the finish. I'm like, God, dude. I'm like, that is just crazy visual, bro. To go from the dude crawling on the ground on all fours, begging for his life, and then you not finishing it, and then you lose the fight. I'm like, damn, bro. I'm like, if only you had better cardio or did that earlier or something, bro. For real, I'm like, he just started out way too slow. Gary, shout out to Gary for looking so good at the start, but yeah, Prates looked bad at the start.
Ian even said that Prates hit like a truck. So all he had to do was keep fucking striking. He would have finished him, bro. Fight.
Real,
this is what you're supposed to do. Punch. Strike him.
So I think at least Prates should learn a whole fucking lot from this. I think this is his first 5-round fight, if I'm not mistaken. I believe so. Yeah. So I think he maybe was like trying to be strategic and like start out slow so he doesn't gas out. But I'm like, bro, if you need to get your rhythm, otherwise you're just going to be behind the whole fight. For real,
because once you're down 3 rounds,
it's like you're going to need to get the finish, and now you haven't gotten your rhythm, so you can't even hit him that well because you haven't been hitting him the whole fight. For real, bro. I'm like, you got to get going early just so you can, get your range, get the feel. For real, bro. So definitely not the best IQ moment at the end there, but I think it was just a result of him being completely gassed. I mean, they were both pretty gassed in that last round, for real. It was pretty crazy to see how gassed they were. I mean, Ian Gary's going to need to tighten up that cardio, for real, if he wants to be champ. For real, bro. Because the Shopcott fight was 5 rounds, but he did not look as gassed in that fight because it was a little bit of a slower pace, more grappling.
This was also on short notice, I will say.
True. I mean, short notice-ish. I mean, it was announced April 1st.
Like 20 days.
Yeah, for real. But, I mean, yeah, it was short notice-ish.
But Gary did beat him via unanimous decision 48-47, 48-47, 49-46. So he did well. I mean, he clearly won. So
for real, bro. I think the only issue was his gas tank at the end, but I think that was just him just dominating so much, but not able to get the finish. Well, I'm almost like, bro, you're dominating so much, slow it down just a tiny bit. And I'm like, dude, the dude's not even punching back. for real. I'm like, if you can't get the finish, just keep your energies there and just keep fucking piecing them up and moving. For real, bro. Ian Gary looked amazing for the first 3.5 rounds, and then he kind of gassed out. But Prates was also gassed. So yeah, interesting fight.
Yeah, Gary, his movement is very well. Obviously, a lot of people hate on Ian Gary a lot, but he has great movement. He has great striking. He just work on that gas tank, and it would be obviously way better.
For
real. Just very, very good in and out movement. Very good at getting away from the power side of Prates. And every time he did a really, really good job that every single time Prates would try to start to do something, he would immediately shut it down and have Prates restarting all over again, trying to get his range, trying to get, back into the fight. Every time he would just stifle his movement, stifle anything that Prates was trying to do. He stopped it. So it was really good. Just fight IQ from Ian Gary, good. Fight IQ from Carlos Prates, bad. It's like
for real.
That was really the story of the fight there.
For real, I think that Ian Gary definitely a great performance. Prates, I think, showed that just a little bit inexperienced at the top level to put it all together yet. But I do think that if he is able to learn from that, I think that if he starts out a little stronger, gets his rhythm quicker, and works on his cardio for sure. I mean, maybe less cigarettes. I mean, Hey,
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes it works out for the fighters. We've seen Nate Diaz, smoke up. His cardio seemed pretty good, but sometimes it's not so good.
This is a PSA. No smoking PSA. Do not smoke cigarettes, or else you'll end up like Carlos Pratas and lose to Ian Gary.
You'll lose to a vegan.
You don't want to do that. But yeah, we ended up tying 9-5. I'm in the 90s now, and with 2 wins, which I'm sure you'll get next week, you will be in the hundreds.
Let's go
for a record,
bro. We'll be looking good, bro.
Hopefully,
we're both looking good next week. We're both looking.
I need 10. Yeah, not bad. I need 10 next week, so I can get 100.
So you guys can trust us. You guys can trust us to get roughly around 2/3 of the picks right.
Yeah. But we also, I will show you real quick. We do have a fight night next week from Des Moines, Iowa. Here we go. We have
Caitlin Clark territory.
Corey Sandhagen versus Davison Figueiredo in the main event.
Yeah, that'll be a good
10 p.m. start time, so a little later. This is like more like a pay-per-view card start time.
I know, right?
On ESPN2.
It's a good card for a main card. I mean, for a fight night.
100%. We got Corey Sandhagen versus Davison Figueiredo, 4 versus 5. Not bad. Corey, man, this guy, if he wins, he should get a fucking title shot. It's been way too long. We've been talking about this for like 5 years.
For real, bro.
Oh my god. Co-main event should be as interesting.
Big test.
Ritter, who is ranked already and just came into the UFC against Bo Nickel, who's not ranked, but is the favorite. So we'll see. Decent fight there. Santiago Ponzinibbio versus Daniel Rodriguez should be decent. Montel Jackson versus Daniel Marcos.
Oh, you good?
Cameron Smotherman. We'll see him back against Sari Sadeh. How the fuck you say his name? But he's solid. Jeremy Stevens is back.
For real, bro. The legend.
He stepped in.
I expect him to have a retirement video if this is the last night.
Hey, you never know. He said, hey, winning title, so who fucking knows? He's crazy.
For real,
coming in from BKFC. Crazy. Hey, he did beat Eddie Alvarez in BKFC, so he's coming off a win over there.
He's a tough motherfucker, that's for sure.
And then we have in the prelims, number 10 versus number 11, Yana Santos versus Misha Tate, who's still around.
OG.
Brian Loader versus Azamat Bekoev. Jesus fuck.
There we go.
Marina Rodriguez versus Jillian Robertson. Solid.
A little ranked.
Quan Lee versus Gaston Bolanos. We have Thomas Peterson versus Dontel Mays. And then we
Thomas the Train.
Ivana Petrovic versus Juliana Miller. So not a terrible fight night. The prelims are a little, but the main card,
main card's bangers.
Solid,
real,
really good. These top couple fights are going to be great. The main event's going to be great. I'm very interested to see how this co-main goes with the wrestling and grappling of each man. So
yeah, me too. That's going to be really good.
Again, the prelims kick off at 7 p.m. on Eastern Standard Time on ESPN Plus, and then the main card at 10 p.m. On ESPN Plus. So there we go. Solid stuff. Love to see it. Can't wait till next week. And then after we have the pay-per-view, UFC 315 up in Canada. I think is pay-per-view next or no?
Yeah.
I think maybe the pay-per-view's next.
Bro, yeah. I saw Ian Gary was like, I'm going to be the backup for that fight. I'm like, bro, I don't think.
Oh, yeah, he is the backup.
Bro. I'm like, how is that going to work, bro?
Dana White said on the press conference that he is 100% the backup. And I was like,
that is the stupidest shit I've ever heard. Bro, short notice. I'm like, short notice. 25 days notice. Oh, but you'll do 2 weeks notice title shot after nearly getting finished? I'm like, what is this? I'm like, what?
Right.
I'm like, that is not smart, for real, bro. I'm like, how are they even allowing this shit? For real, bro. I'm like, how are you allowed to fight 2 weeks later?
He's probably not going to. I can't see Bilal or Jack Della Maddalena missing weight. So
for real, bro. But I'm like, why, bro? I'm like, if he came in there on this much notice after that fight, I'm like, bro, you would gassed out, crawling on all fours, bro. I'm like, what are you talking about fighting in 2 weeks, bro? What are you talking about? Literally, bro. I'm like, you were crawling for your life. I'm like, if that fight was a minute longer, you might not be fucking conscious. I'm like, what are you talking about, bro? I'm like,
So
what
yeah,
are the UFC thinking, bro? I'm like, it's
no,
not like
they're
170 is
not.
short of my give it to fucking Brady. I'm like, what?
Yeah,
I'm
Sean
like,
Brady?
what? For real, bro?
Like,
what? For real? I'm like, what are you talking about? It must just because he doesn't cut a lot of weight or something. I'm like, what?
And they're all just like fully, by the way, just fully like overlooking Shavkat.
Yeah,
I know he's
for
hurt,
real,
but like
bro.
he should come back and get a title fight because he earned
Yeah,
it.
I'm like, bro,
He
why
beat
not
Gary.
Joaquin Buckley? Why not Brady? Why the fuck is Ian Gary the backup when he just fucking fought? And I'm like, bro, I don't want him to step in if someone, hopefully no one does, but I'm like, bro, he's gonna be fucking not at his best. Why? For real, bro. I just don't get that. There's so much other guys, bro. I'm like, why?
Strange. But yeah, pay-per-view, and then we have another fight night, which is on my birthday. So woohoo on that.
Let's
One of my
go.
favorite fighters is on that card, Michael Morales. I'm very excited. He's main eventing.
For real, bro. Fucking monster.
And then we have another. Oh, that's Apex. And then we have another Apex after that, Blanchfield Barber. And then we have UFC 316. I am going to try to go to UFC 316. So we'll see how that goes. And then they did announce that on June 14th, main event will be Kamaru Usman versus Joaquin Buckley in Atlanta, Georgia.
Well, that's why they didn't give it to Buckley. Okay.
So Buckley versus Kamaru Usman will be on June 14th in Atlanta. That's the fight that Wellmaker wants to be on. And then in Baku, Azerbaijan, or how the fuck you say it, that will be Jamal Hill versus Khalil Roundtree, which was supposed to be the main event for Kansas City, but got pushed back. So
it keeps getting canceled twice, I think. Well, I'm like,
yeah,
hopefully it's actually
hopefully not again.
But
yeah, so we got.
I know, bro. They were like
coming up.
It was so funny. They were both in the crowd. I was like, bro.
Oh yeah, I know. I was like, why the fuck did you all cancel this? But they're there.
Yeah, they're like these two are so. They're like, I'm like, what? They're
like, why are they fighting then? They look fine.
I know, but they're probably.
I think it was Hill. Hill said he got hurt in training or something. I forget. But yeah,
for real, crazy.
It was weird,
but I thought that was funny. Yeah. For real, I was like, damn, get them in there. For real.
It's like wrestling. Like fight on the night they're in. They're in right now.
Bro, they're fighting in the crowd.
Should be good though. We got some fun stuff coming up. So yeah, make sure to check us out. I think they're all back-to-back weeks, so no time off.
Oh, busy.
For a little bit. So woohoo. Fights. But yeah. Tired. Thanks for watching this week. Make sure to check next week and check us out on all Body Slam wherever. We're on Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, X, all that good stuff. And then us personally here on X at Brady Fight Talk, at Combat Combos over there. And then Body Slam MMA. Follow that on X. That's where, live tweeting the shows and posting news and all that stuff. Check that out. And yeah, make sure to like, comment, subscribe wherever, follow, whatever it is. And we'll see you next time. Peace.